It doesn't matter how stupid a scam might sound to you. I got your nose. Like, even that might have just sent someone into a panic. Doesn't matter how dumb it is, people fall for these kind of scams every single day. The most absurd, most unbelievable things that you ask yourself, who could possibly be that moronic to actually fall victim to it? Well, people do every single day. The reason why these scams exist is because they are successful. And today we're going to talk about one that just happened in my own backyard, Florida. More specifically, Bradenton, which is pretty close to Tampa. I could probably piss into the wind and have a golden shower hit this scammer here while he's mowing his lawn. Now, it's not just one scam either. This actually has quite a few layers. It's a deep onion of scams, and it's all the most unbelievable shit where you ask yourself, who could fall for it? And you're about to find out who. So the perpetrator here, the scammer, is a gentleman who looks like an unholy fusion dance between Larry the Cable Guy and Meatwad from Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Well, what started with a friend request turned into months of talking, and a woman in Frisco, Texas thought she'd hit the jackpot with her new friend, Elon Musk. He'd promised her a huge return for investing with him.
And as Fox 13's Kimberly Quizon reports, the person behind the keyboard was not Elon Musk, but a man from Bradenton, who police say was ripping her off.
This is actually the oldest trick in the book. I'm pretty sure this scam predates the birth of Jesus Christ. And it is a scam that a lot of elderly people fall victim to constantly, which is always sad, of course, and it's a scam that's existed for as long as communication has, with people lying to get money out of them, saying like, hey, give me money and I'll give you money in return. They pretend to be something that they're not with some kind of phony baloney nonsense. But with the internet, they've been able to like crank that shit up. They're going plus ultra on that scam, and it's been significantly more effective, which is very surprising to me just how drastically the sentiment around online activity has changed in the older generation. Because when I was growing up, my parents and grandparents put the fear of God in me about like, don't post anything online that would be like an identifier, like don't post anything private online, don't trust anything or anyone that you meet online. Whereas nowadays, that notion is completely extinct. The older generation looks at you like you're weird if you don't have your fucking phone number posted on your Twitter account or something. Like, they're going hog wild, believing everything and everyone, ripping their shirt off, twirling it over their head like, yeah, Queef Wellington's revealing the truth. There is plutonium in the toilet paper. We have to go back to using leaves, raw leaves and poison ivy to clean ourselves. It's like, hey, well, let's pump the brakes a little bit. It just seems totally different, but maybe now it's just the access to information. You see more of it. Maybe this has always been happening, but man, it really does just seem like every 70-year-old is just waiting for a random Facebook friend request so they can send that stranger all of their money for no fucking reason.
For a 74-year-old woman, a friend request sent and accepted on Facebook brought on a new and seemingly powerful friendship.
She would communicate on a daily basis with him.
She believes she was talking with Elon Musk, and he told her he had a plan for her future.
A common misconception is that only old people fall for this kind of scam. Like, oh, you gotta be geriatric and senile to think that Elon Musk would contact you and say that he has a plan and that you should give him money. That's just complete fucking barnacles right there. Only, I think it was 2 years ago, maybe even less, and it still goes on today, there was that massive YouTube scam stream that got started up with a looped Elon Musk video that had a link to a Bitcoin wallet that was asking everyone watching the stream to send Bitcoin to that wallet and he would double it. And so many people fell victim to that. And 74-year-olds aren't using Bitcoin 2-3 years ago. So the main people that were victims to that were younger people. And that scam, the Elon Musk doubling crypto scam, still goes on to this day to wild degrees of success. You see the streams all over YouTube right now too. I guarantee you can probably find 5 of those bitches live at this moment, and there are people falling for them every single day, not just old people. So this scam of, I'm Elon Musk and I need money so that way you can make money, I'm here for you, doesn't just work on a 74-year-old woman.
You give us $500,000, I can make you $55 million.
She jumped at the opportunity.
Without her husband's knowledge, she started investing with Elon Musk.
It's kind of heartbreaking to see how trusting people are in a situation like this, where this 74-year-old woman receives a friend request from someone she believes is Elon Musk, and she thinks he's there to try and help her. He just needs a little bit of cash for that. He just needs, a few tiddlywinks of doubloons. Maybe $500,000, half $500,000. Those wacky little numbers on the back of the credit card. That's all Elon needs in order for her to get fucking $55 million return. And she believes it. Somehow she knows who Elon Musk is, knows that he's worth billions of dollars, wealthiest man in the world, and she thinks that, oh, this is actually Elon reaching out on a random fucking Tuesday through Facebook to a random 74-year-old woman that he's never met. Like, I bet she was so excited, she probably went and put some cookies in the oven for him, baked him a fucking pie or something to thank him.
But Detective Jim Carula with the Bradenton Police Department's Elder Fraud Unit says the woman transferred $250,000 to bank accounts not belonging to Elon Musk, but to this man.
Grant, that's
an imposter, according to police. 56-year-old Jeffrey Moynihan Jr. of Bradenton.
This guy looks like the bad guy in every 90s Christmas film. Like, he looks like that business guy that's like, bah humbug, there is no Santa Claus. Like, he just has like this distinct look about him where it's like evolution knew he was going to be a scammer piece of shit. So it like molded his whole being into that caricature. It's shocking just how closely he imagines what I picture in my head every scammer to look like.
We have a arrest warrant for your arrest.
Detective Carula says the woman's husband says she gave Elon Musk, aka Moynihan, $600,000. He's continuing to track down where the other money went.
What and who you see is not who's typing back at you. And I think these people, you have to realize that.
Which should be a pretty obvious lesson that's becoming more and more rare for people to have learned. And I can't believe it's something you even need to learn. It should just be something you know. Anybody can make a Facebook account with a profile pic of Elon Musk. There's probably a billion of those fucking things floating around right now. You can see them all over Twitter too. But just because it reaches out to you and it has the name Elon Musk, it doesn't mean that it is. There are 1,000 things you can do to avoid getting scammed like this, yet so many people just don't do it because they are either in a desperate situation or they hear something that just sounds like this is life-changing. I need to at least try. So then they fall victim to a scam like this. And in this case, she was so trusting, and what Elon Musk was saying was so good that she went behind her husband's back and sent 600,000 clams to a random Facebook account.
But here's where things take a turn. It appears Moynihan may have been the target of a romance scam as well.
Mr. Moynihan stating that his girlfriend is the mastermind behind it and that he had no involvement. He is stating he's never actually even met his girlfriend.
Bang! I bet you didn't expect that. So the scammer who was pulling off the impersonation Elon Musk doubling money RuneScape scam is actually, potentially, the victim of a romance scam himself. He is the victim of the same scam he is doing to the 74-year-old woman without recognizing that. I think is the angle he's trying to play with that. I'm a little confused with the way that it's stated here because I think what's also possible is that Jeffrey is claiming that his girlfriend is the one that did this to the 74-year-old woman and he was totally hands-off. It must have been her. Yet it was his bank account that got all of the money. So that doesn't really make sense unless he was the victim of a romance scam here, gave her his bank account info, and then she used it on the 74-year-old woman, and he didn't know anything about it, and now he's bringing it up here. Or the way that I initially interpreted it is that he has this mysterious girlfriend, this supermodel, superstar, 3-breast mega milkers that he hasn't met before, but she wanted him to talk to the 74-year-old woman as if he was Elon Musk to get money from her. So like that's the way I initially interpreted it, that he is right now talking to this imaginary girlfriend that is telling him to do this. So he's saying, like, I'm kind of blameless. It was my girlfriend who was making me do it. That's the way that it initially came across to me. Mind-boggling. Romance scams are becoming increasingly common as well, where somebody pretends to be, this hot, big-tittied goth chick that wants your meat, but she can't quite get out to you because she's in, like, a bad financial spot. So you got to be sending her money so that way she can eventually come be with you, be your wife, because she loves you. Like, it's love. And what, are you going to deny love? I don't think so. So this douchebag, this stupid asshole is like, okay, well, my girlfriend is telling me that if I don't have the money to pay her, maybe I should try getting it by pretending to be someone I'm not to get money from this lady. And he doesn't connect the dots in his rotted noodle that he is also right now being scammed. It's a beautiful disaster. Now, I do think the most likely explanation is that this guy is desperately making this up, just pulling it out of his ass. Like, oh, no, that couldn't have been me. It must have been my girlfriend. Yeah, my girlfriend, super hot. You wouldn't know her. She goes to a different college. But yeah, she must have, logged on to my account and used all my bank account information in order to receive money from the 74-year-old woman that she was scamming, pretending to be Elon Musk on all of my accounts. That's likely what it was. So he could just be doing this to try and lessen his sentence by saying oh no, it wasn't me, it was this person, and I don't know who that person is, but it's definitely not me, it's my girlfriend. Don't know her, never met her, but it's her. You might as well just blame it on fucking Sasquatch at that point.
As BPD continues their investigation, neighbors of Moynihan remain in disbelief.
It's shocking. It's just surprising.
In Bradenton, Kimberly Quizon, Fox 13 News.
I decided to leave that little scene in there where they talk to the neighbors because I always find that to just be pretty useless most of the time, where the news will just knock on neighbors' doors and be like, hey, what do you think about your neighbor getting arrested? 9 times out of 10 they're like, oh wow, that's crazy. And in this case, the guy's just shocking. It's not like they're going to have a deep insight on that. What's this guy going to do? But oh no, actually, this doesn't surprise me even a little bit. This doesn't even have me raise an eyebrow, because actually one time, Jeffrey came over knocking on my door with a voice changer, pretending to be Marilyn Monroe. So, I always knew he was capable of impersonating someone. It was just a matter of time before he found a sucker to give him money. That's just not going to happen. Why even leave that part in? Here's what the neighbors had to say. Whoa. All right, anyway, back to you.
Grand Theft of what?
Was that?
Grand Theft of what?
I'm not the one that wrote the warrant. When the detective comes out here, he'll explain it for you.
Just wanted to show you a wee bit more of the body cam footage here, where he plays dumb. I mean, he is dumb, but where he pretends he doesn't know why they'd be there. And he doesn't have a shirt on, which had me giggling a little bit, because this man got interrupted 15 beers deep by this and didn't even get the chance to put a shirt on in time, so he's just walking around with cold hard nipples in the police station. And anyway, hopefully the victim gets her money back from this. Hopefully they're able to track all that down and give her money back. That's really about it. So yeah. My captors finally released me, so now I'm safely back home. And I have been deep in the rabbit hole of whatnot scams. I only just recently learned about this platform, and it is apparently huge. So it's fundamentally a live stream auction that any goober on the planet, any Joe Schmo, can just pop up live with absolutely no vetting at all, from what I can tell. So it is filled to the brim, out the wazoo, with scammers. I can count on one hand the amount of successful transactions I've even heard of on this platform. It seems like you go there just to lose your money. There are more scams on Whatnot than there were for fucking crypto meme coin rug pulls. It is bizarre. I have watched so many videos of them just point blank scamming the audience live in front of their faces. Then they end the stream, close their account, and then just make a new account after they get their money. It is baffling. I want to show you just one that I thought was unbelievably silly, though, and it's a Pokemon TCG scam.
You got Prismatic. Yeah, pick any which one you want. One person, come on. Thank you, Big Country Fried. What do you want? I'm guessing the Prismatic.
So you can see his chat there during the auction. They're making some bids. Someone wins, and he's about to do a little rip and ship here on Prismatic Evolutions for Pokemon. Very hype set. People would literally sell their fucking grandmother into prostitution to get their hands on those fucking packs. Scalpers have gone ballistic for Prismatic Evolutions, and the Pokemon card community is absolutely rotten to its core with all these scalpers exploiting the fuck out of it like it's some kind of degenerate fleshlight. It's just a disaster. I have been spitting and shitting on these scalpers for months now. It is out of control. And this guy might actually be the stupidest one. You can literally hear in his voice that he's a moron. He actually has cartoonish idiot voice. This is what Ed from Ed, Edd n Eddy would sound like if he actually existed in our world.
Bet anybody want to outbid him? Come on, 5 seconds. Thanks, big country fraud, man.
I'm assuming all of you have eyes, and I imagine I don't need to tell you that that was not an officially sealed Pokemon pack, that was what we call in the business resealed. But I don't even think that nomenclature fits this, because he didn't even do the bare minimum, it wasn't sealed. He didn't even like tape it, he didn't even try and pretend. That was a completely open pack that he kind of just loosely held together with his hand and then like pretended to rip it out. But he also didn't even pretend, because he goes in there and the top is already fully open, so you can see the cards poking out, and he just grabs the cards from the top and he's like, oh wait. So then he tries to like pretend that he's like ripping the back off, but there's literally nothing holding it together except for his fucking hand. He didn't even bother to do the bare minimum of putting like a little glue there or some tape. It is blatantly just not an actual pack. And that's before you even see the cards. I am not using this loosely, I am not exaggerating. This is actually the laziest scam I've ever seen. Full stop. There's no effort at all into this one. His heart's not in it. It sounds like he's overdosing right now on ketamine anyway. Like he's got fucking peanut butter in his mouth, so it really sounds like he's not all there, like he's not lucid right now. He's in a fugue state, and he is pulling off live in front of an audience the worst Pokemon scam we have ever seen. And this was only like, I think it was almost a month ago now. Almost a full month ago.
I hate ripping these bitches. I don't know the number for these. Cause I'm fucking awkwardly hunched over. I don't have a stand for my phone. Rufflet. Pidgey, Polistan, Leafy, Fuko, Forthorn, Fighting Owlet. Oh, I see something shiny. You got a reverse right here. And then Togekiss.
If you were reading the chat at all, you'll notice that people were quick to pick up that those cards aren't even part of the Prismatic Evolution set. They are from a completely different set. He didn't even bother to put bulk cards from the actual Prismatic Evolutions into this. It's just random cards he found from a totally different set here. And he's also illiterate. He can't even read the fucking cards.
You want bulk or you want the hits?
God, I love that line from him right there at the end of the climax after everyone has found out this guy is just a degenerate fucking loser scammer. He had the gall to say, do you want the bulk or the hits? And the guy who purchased the pack, you can see him type in chat, he said, I want a refund. This guy must have, I don't know, somehow pieced those words together in his brain and figured out that that's a bad thing, because I'm sure he couldn't read it based on how he was trying to pronounce those Pokemon names. So then he knew something was awry. They were on to his nefarious scheme, his genius plan. So then he ended the stream. The show has ended. But really, the show has only just begun. This was giving me so many giggles. Now, he obviously closed his account, or maybe Whatnot banned him, I'm not entirely sure. But his account was closed. He made another account. It was called, like, Jake something, I already forgot, but I think that one's also been closed now. But I'm sure that's not the last we've seen of this guy. I'm sure he's going to keep making new accounts. You cut one head off the Hydra, 2 more take its place here. He's going to continue to try, but I don't think he'll ever actually be successful at it because his voice is so recognizably stupid that I feel like you will never mistake him. Unless he starts using a voice changer or like an AI Mr. Krabs filter on his voice or something, you will always know that it's this guy. His voice is just so distinct. He is a magnificent clown. Now, at first I thought there was a chance this was like satire on purpose. It's not. This was an actual scam that a real, living, breathing human being actually tried to pull off. And I guess to a certain extent it was successful. He did get that guy's money for this. And I am still just sitting here stunned watching that. And it's not uncommon on Whatnot. That's the thing. I've seen so many scams of similar caliber to this, maybe not as lazy. Like, he didn't even try and reseal the pack. It was actually just in fucking pieces. Then he pretended to open it. But, like, there's so many other scammers. Like, just today, I saw one that was posted today on Whatnot where a scammer forgot to end the stream, and then he was literally talking to his friend about all the scams that he runs himself on his own page, and they're just going back and forth about the scams that they're conducting in front of their audience because he forgot to end the stream, thinking that he had, like, raided into another channel or something. I don't exactly know how it works on Whatnot, but it went on for like 3 minutes. I saw another box break scam. Like, there are so many scams there, but this is, I think, completely in a league of its own in regards to how stupid it is. This guy is like the ultimate dweeb loser. Obviously, I can't stand these assholes, but if there's any solace to take from this clip, it's that going forward, when you see a scalper or a scammer trying to exploit people online in the trading card community, just know that behind the keyboard, they probably look and sound a lot like this guy. A complete bozo. An actual fucking super specimen of stupidity. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about this. That's really about it. So yeah. Just like fiber in my colon, the YouTube algorithm works in mysterious ways, and today it plopped out a little something special onto my homepage. A beautiful little nugget that highlighted a scam that I would have never even imagined as a possibility. A YouTuber named Falfin, whom hasn't uploaded in 6 years, came out of nowhere from the top turnbuckle and delivered a smackdown onto a nutrition brand that had a protein powder that they were hawking that isn't quite what it seems. Now, if you read the title of this video, it says this company sold cake batter as protein powder. That title is admittedly a little misleading, because cake batter is probably more nutritious than what they were parading around as protein powder and selling. It is a homemade label, and in that little screenshot there I showed you, the keen observers out there, the astute viewers, may have noticed that there's a bit of a big typo on that nutrition label. Instead of dietary fiber, it's dietati fiber. So this is not like a real label, and it actually gives me similar vibes to like the OG pink sauce shenanigans. So it turns out, we're going to go through this video together, that this nutrition brand had this protein powder that was not as advertised, and it certainly didn't have the macros that it was pretending that it did.
If you're into fitness and live in Northern California, there's a decent chance you've heard of Holmes Nutrition. Anyone that has tried Holmes Nutrition protein powder would say the following 2 things about it. 1, that it's the most delicious protein powder they've ever had, and 2, that it tastes just like cake batter. The powder itself even advertises how it's great for baking. 1 scoop has 22 grams of protein and only 3 grams of sugar, but it tastes so much like cake batter that someone got suspicious.
Now, I'm not familiar with this brand, I've never heard of it before, but it seems like it had a lot of glaze with people praising its flavor in particular. It had great macros, judging by the nutrition label. If you ignore the misspellings of dietary as well as essential amino acids, it seems as though they called them essential amino acids. But if you put that stuff aside, that pesky grammar and spelling, it all looked great. Now, real quick, why you should never ignore something like that on a label is these are extremely important pieces of information to get right. And if there are spelling errors in there, that showcases that something's a bit fishy, something's gone awry. Smells stinky. If a label isn't correctly, accurately describing what the contents are in this product that's being consumed, that can be the difference of someone getting sick. People make their decisions on things based on these kind of labels, especially when it comes to people with dietary restrictions. So, if the label can't be trusted, that could be legitimately dangerous for some individuals. This is something you don't fuck with. So, with this in consideration, so many people talking about how closely resembling cake batter the flavor profile was for this brand and how low the sugar was, there was someone on Reddit who, just like my boy George, got a bit curious and decided to send this out to a lab for further testing, just to confirm, like, does this actually have the macros that it says it does? Is this actually what the label is telling me it is?
This Redditor sent in 3 different flavors of Holmes Nutrition to a lab. They sent samples of chocolate cake, lemon cake, and cinnamon crumb cake to this lab, Certified Laboratories, and all 3 powders came back with the same results. Instead of 22 grams of protein, this protein powder had 21 grams of carbs instead and only 3.4 grams of protein per scoop.
Boy, howdy, that's quite a bit different than what the label says is contained in that product. It's a far cry from what's advertised with this protein powder. 3 grams of protein is shockingly low. I could fart into your mouth and you get more protein from my ass than you would from this powder. For comparison, let's take a peek at Betty Crocker, just the most popular packaged cake mix. You'll get 1 less gram of protein in the package, but if you prepare it as you're supposed to, you would actually get 1 more gram of protein from preparing a fucking Betty Crocker cake than you would from drinking a Holmes protein shake here using this. It's like the LaCroix of protein powder, where it's the idea of protein. It's so weird. Like, I cannot believe how little protein there appears to be in this product based on the lab results here. 3 grams is actually shockingly low. I know I've already said that, but I am stunned because I would think, like, even if you were trying to make some, like, misleading product here, you would think that there'd be a little more protein in that, just even accidentally. Somehow, it's like they went in there and intentionally removed all of the protein they could possibly find. Like, you could eat a handful of grass and probably get more nutrition out of that. When I went back to the original Reddit post, it seems like this was a very popular brand of protein powder, at least in the local area. For years, Holmes Nutrition has been a well-known local name, someone everyone preached about as being legit because he's friends with so many people, but recent lab results show that the product has been severely mislabeled, sold under the appearance of a higher quality protein powder than it actually contains. I personally have been buying Holmes Nutrition for over 4 years, believing I was getting a high-quality product. People I know have even picked up their protein directly from his house, trusting they were buying from someone who cared about his customers. Instead, they were handed a product that didn't come close to meeting its advertised nutrition claims. And in the comment section, both here on the YouTube video and even in other places like on Facebook and stuff and other like Instagram and things, there were tons of people talking about how long they've been purchasing this product. They've been loyal to this brand for years. And when you are trying to better your health and fitness, one thing you do is keep track of things like macros. So people were buying this and working it into their daily routine as part of their macros and their nutritional goals in order to hit what they wanted to achieve, what they were setting out to achieve. But they were being misled the whole time. They weren't getting near their protein threshold that they were looking to hit. And in some cases, you could even make an argument it was hurting consumers, as you're going to see more in this video here and in the original Reddit post. Because this is incorrectly labeled, there were people buying this product that probably shouldn't have because of like blood sugar spiking and stuff like that. This is why these labels are extremely important, because someone who's like diabetic needs this information. They rely on this information so that way they don't end up putting themselves in a dangerous position by consuming something that they shouldn't. So when this product gets tested in a lab and turns out it's not even close to what's being advertised with it and the label doesn't reflect what's actually in there at all, it becomes a huge problem, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this brand sued. Honestly, huge W to the Redditor here who decided to take it upon themselves to send this out to labs to confirm if this really is what Holmes Nutrition says it is. I think that was a very important thing to do.
I've been absolutely obsessed with getting buff and working out. I was lifting at the gym 5 days a week, and of course, I was hitting my protein macros each and every day. Or so I thought. So you can imagine my absolute despair and nausea when I found out that my favorite protein powder that I had been using for years was not even protein powder at all. Just a sweet batter mix with trace amounts of protein. An egg, a single egg, has double the amount of protein than my protein powder had. The protein powder I was spending $75 per bag on.
Oof. Yeah, protein powder's not cheap. So it seems like, based on the available information here, Holmes Nutrition was like the cheapest fucking cake batter type mix you could find, and packaged and then charged a fucking arm and a leg for it. She's right. A single egg is double what you were getting from the fucking Holmes protein powder. I'm giggling, but it's actually diabolical. She has been working out for a long time and believing to be hitting her protein goals thanks to the assistance of something like this protein powder, but turns out this entire time she wasn't, because she wasn't getting the protein she thought she was, because this is complete fucking phony baloney. She'd been schmeckeldorfed by Holmes Nutrition here. If I found out the protein powders I'd been using for the last decade were actually just, pixie dust or something and dirt and sawdust, I would be pissed. I would be extremely upset. And I saw a lot of other comments from people, even outside of the potential dangers of someone consuming this and having a blood sugar spike or something like that because they didn't know or anything like that. Even outside of that, people were taking this and then wondering why they were plateauing or not seeing any improvements when they were hitting the macro goals that they set out to and what should be leading to improvements, thus causing tons of confusion and wondering, well, what's going wrong, without ever suspecting that their protein powder they were relying on was actually the real culprit. It's such a fucking mess.
So first of all, Holmes Nutrition Protein Powder is not sold in big box stores or on Amazon. It's a company created by Sacramento-based bodybuilder Bobby Holmes and his wife. It's only available on its website, holmesnutrition.com. So how did I even find out about this protein powder in the first place? Well, the smoothies that my gym made were fantastic. So one day I peeped at the protein powder they use and I wrote it down and then went home and started buying some.
Her story is one that I saw shared by many others. Apparently, a lot of people found out about Holmes Nutrition through their local gyms that were making protein smoothies there using that powder, and people were just blown away by how great it tasted that they also wanted to find out what the fuck was this protein powder. It tasted just like cake batter, but for only 4 grams of carbs, 3 grams of sugar, 22 grams of protein. Holy shit. $75, I'm losing money not buying it. So people were then buying Holmes Nutrition protein powder. This was the gateway drug here. They believed that they had stumbled across something that was truly unlike the rest. It tasted incredible, and for only 4 grams of carbs, 3 grams of sugar, 22 grams of protein, they were losing money not giving Bobby Holmes 75 clams. Their body was withering away, shrinking and shriveling from atrophy without being fed this holy elixir that tasted just like cake batter, when really the whole time they were deceived.
So for me, I'm one of the lucky ones because this just affects my gains, but for others, this is a major health issue. The Redditor included in their post that they even saw a comment on Bobby's Instagram from someone saying their blood sugar shot up despite the label claiming low sugar and carbs. To make matters worse, in the comments, people were buying this protein for their diabetic family members that have been having issues with their glucose while taking this. And this commenter had real-time data that this protein powder was causing sugar spikes.
Now, these are just Reddit comments, so this could be as real as, my dad works at Bungie and he's gonna have you banned off Minecraft or something. But this is something that is very testable. You can monitor blood sugar spikes, and there are so many people reporting it, I'm willing to believe that that is probably accurate. The lab results are pretty conclusive. There's not a lot of wiggle room for that to be in error, and since we now know, based on that, we can't trust the label, since the label is very inaccurate, we can assume that the ingredients are not properly reflected in what is on that label. So they probably weren't able to achieve this flavor with being low sugar. We know it's not low carb. It advertised 4 grams of carbs. It's actually over 20. The sugar content is also probably higher, which she is about to dive into in just a moment. So I do think that it's probably legitimate claims here that people that were using this product were probably experiencing fluctuations in their blood sugar levels as a result of it, because they were taking it under a false pretense. They were misled thinking that it was low carb, low sugar.
The original post with the lab results were posted on Reddit on March 3rd, 2025. On March 27, they posted an update saying that Holmes Nutrition has removed all of their protein powders from their online store. So when we go to the Holmes Nutrition website, it has the following messages, starting with the bottom being the oldest. Unfortunately, we have encountered an unexpected issue with the manufacturing facility for the protein. Due to the large increase in demand, the current facility was having issues.
The message is still on the site to this day. It's been like this for many months now, and actually, a lot of customers of Holmes Nutrition found out about the potential fraud because they were Googling, where is Holmes Nutrition protein powder? And in Googling that, a lot of people found this Reddit post. So people unintentionally stumbled into this knowledge that their protein powder was severely mislabeled because they were trying to buy more of it. Now, Holmes Nutrition doesn't appear to be acknowledging it in any way, shape, or form. They're kind of plugging their ears to it, putting their head down and just saying, oh, it's temporarily off the shelves because we got to find a manufacturer. You guys just love it so fucking much that we've got to stop selling it online for now while we look for another manufacturer. That's the only reason it's not here right now. I imagine the reason for that is probably obvious. If they did say, like, whoops-a-daisy, you got us, well, we're going to have to start changing our label around to be accurate. Sorry about the inconvenience. They would be sued into fucking oblivion like that. It would be instantaneous. So their only card to play is just ignore it and hope people don't try and, like, pursue further action against them. I don't believe the story that they have to find another manufacturer now. That just seems like a convenient excuse. I don't put any stock into that being truthful. You can't trust their label and you can't trust their word, it seems.
For myself, it was either in March or April of this year, 2025, that I first noticed the products were unavailable on the website and that Holmes was citing manufacturer issues. So since the Reddit post was already up by the time I independently noticed their website, I don't have definitive data to show if the products were pulled down before the post went up or after or in response to this post exposing them. But given the timeline within the post, it seems that these messages on the site were after or in response to this Reddit post. Okay, wait. As I was editing this video, I saw this Instagram post from Diamond Tier Fitness, which is this gym in northern Sacramento, that said it's selling Holmes protein.
So it seems like while it's not available to order directly through their site, they are selling it through local gyms. And the reason for that, at least in my opinion, is that they probably have recognized that people online are a little more privy to the potential falsified nutrition label here, and thus they believe selling their inventory that they have left, which I imagine is probably sizable, they probably have quite a lot in stock that they want to offload. They found the best way to do that would be locally doing it at these gyms where people aren't just going to stand there and start like Googling it right then and there. They'll just be like, oh, this, I'll trust the label. Since we have all been led to believe that labels are accurate, they are supposed to be 100% representative of what is actually the contents of that product. So people are most likely going to be inclined to trust it if they buy it in person, as opposed to online where they might stumble across that Reddit post. So my theory is they're selling through these local gyms because they have all of this inventory that they know they can't really sell online right now. It's a little too hot, hot tub is too hot. So they're doing it locally, hoping that people will be none the wiser and won't like look into it past like, oh, yummy, this tastes great. And that's what I think, at least.
While I was writing out this video and looking at my bag of protein powder, I noticed that the dietary and dietary fiber on the bag is spelled wrong. So this indicates that Bobby and his wife created this nutrition label themselves, which is allowed by the FDA, but does open the door for extreme inaccuracy and lack of trustworthiness in what's claimed on the label. So the FDA does not approve supplements or protein powders, so you're never going to see the FDA approved stamp on any of them. But that doesn't mean they are exempt from the FDA's labeling regulations. They still have to follow the FDA labeling laws.
That was fascinating to me because I didn't know that you could just make your own labels for the product. I knew protein powders weren't FDA approved. I think most people in the fitness space do recognize that. But I didn't know you could still just make your own fucking labels and just pull numbers out of your ass here. I mean, you can't, as you mentioned, you still have to follow, like, the labeling laws. But I still thought you couldn't even just do that as, like, you know, some goober sitting at your home computer and typing it all out. I still thought it would have to go through something a little more official for something like that.
In addition, it includes non-dairy creamer as an ingredient, but pursuant to the Code of Federal Regulations, Title 21, Section 101.4b, if an ingredient is made from 2 or more ingredients, it must declare the established common or usual name of the ingredient, followed by a parenthetical listing of all ingredients that that ingredient is made of. So, this has more ingredients that make up that non-dairy creamer, like vegetable oil or possibly even dipotassium phosphate, which are common ingredients in non-dairy creamer that are just not listed in the ingredients list. Additionally, it says cane sugar as an ingredient, so we know there are added sugars, but it just lists sugars, 3 grams. The Code of Federal Regulations, Title 21, Section 101.9 specifies that added sugars must be declared separately from total sugars and include the percent daily value. So, not only is the protein and carb content completely misstated, but there are just so many problems with pretty much every aspect of the packaging.
Yeah, to me, that's kind of a slam dunk right there. There's not a whole lot of argument that Holmes Nutrition could possibly make for why they wouldn't fully list out the ingredients there that make up that creamer, nor why they didn't separate sugars and added sugars. Well, the reason they wouldn't do the added sugars is because it would look a lot worse. There's probably a lot of added sugars in there, which is how they're able to achieve that cake batter-like taste that they're so famous for, most likely. So, her looking at the ingredients there and showcasing how it's not exactly compliant with the established protocol, I think is a very strong piece of evidence that this is all fucking bogus. That what Holmes Nutrition has done here is just reprehensible. And it could be just downright dangerous. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if it has opened them up to lawsuits. The lab tests are pretty hard to argue against as well, where it confirms that the protein, the carbs, all of that is just drastically wrong. So how the fuck could Holmes Nutrition even come up with an excuse? They really can't, which is why I believe they're not. That's probably why they're just radio silent and just selling locally through gyms now, it seems. Now, in the original Reddit post, they believed that the lab results indicated the presence of amino spiking. Falfin, however, disagreed with that notion, and there's a whole segment Falfin dedicates to proving why she believes it's not necessarily amino spiking here, and I highly recommend you check out her whole video so you can see her piece on that. I will, however, show you her conclusion for why she believes there's such a discrepancy between the lab results, protein, and what's listed on the bag here.
Amino spiking would still show up as protein in lab tests, so the lab test listed would not be showing only 11% protein on the results if it was amino spiked. This lab test specifically uses the Kjeldahl method, which would still read high protein. Given these facts, I disagree with the original poster that Holmes is using amino spiking. To me personally, it really just seems like we just have a complete misrepresentation of the protein versus carbs content, and that the nutrition and ingredients label is just simply wrong. I'm not a lawyer or a judge, so I can't say whether this was intentionally deceptive or just severe incompetence.
Given what she explains with amino spiking, which I wasn't entirely knowledgeable on in the protein powder space, I think she did a good job of explaining why she believes this isn't the result of amino spiking, and I agree with her conclusion that it probably is just grossly mislabeled. And while I understand it's impossible to say if it's intentionally, maliciously done this way, or if it's just them being extremely fucking stupid, like they're all just bumbling morons over there at the Holmes Nutrition HQ, I feel like, given all of the other factors at play here, to me personally, it feels like it probably is this way by design. It feels like they are intentionally trying to make this product appear as though it's something that it's not, knowing full well when people try it, they're going to love the flavor, and since they see these great macros on the back, they're going to be like a lifelong customer, as you've seen from so many other commenters and so many other people speaking up about like how betrayed they feel for years spent buying this product. So I feel like it's probably by design, but of course I can't say that with 100% certainty. But regardless, it's a huge fucking problem.
So I know this was a long video, but I just had to talk about this. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm just a person that is angry and wants other people to be aware of this. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for listening to what I have to say. I hope you have a great day and that you don't find out that you were scammed by your protein powder.
She also had a segment in here where she was mentioning other protein players in the space that were facing legal hot water being sued because of mislabeled products, that maybe didn't have as much protein as the label said. So, like, there is a precedent set where you can't just completely fucking lie about how much protein is in your product. Now, as for whether or not Holmes Nutrition is going to face any legal ramifications, who really knows? But really, this was a very interesting video. Falfin mentions she's not a YouTuber. She was just a victim of the scam and wanted to alert others to it as well. And it's not something that she's doing just trying to fish for clicks or farm a drama or something like that. She was buying this protein powder for years, wasting hundreds of dollars over the course of this period of time, and she's far from the only one. You can see tons and tons of testimonials from people claiming that they've been buying this for years, spending upwards of like $2,000 over the course of this period of time, all under the belief that this product was helping them achieve their health and fitness goals, when really the truth of it appears to be, based on the lab results, that it was actually hampering those goals. It was actively working against them. That fucking sucks. Like, that's terrible. That's a degenerate scam right there, based on all available information. So I just found this to be so interesting. Falfin absolutely crushed it on this video here. I know she says she's not a YouTuber, but I'm curious if she's going to do any other content in the future, because this was just really well made. And hats off to the Redditor who did the initial investigating in the beginning, sending this to a lab, being alerted to the fact that something is just awry here. It's a bit fishy, and then decided to follow through on an investigation to make sure that, everything was above board here. And then what they found out, they shared with, the world. So that way other people weren't getting, misled by it anymore. So, yeah, anyway, I just had to yap about this one. That's really about it. So, yeah. Yeah, the Hawk to a Girl launched a meme coin. That's just like a term they use, calling it a meme coin. It's really not. It's just always a scam coin. It's made for the sake of rugging her viewers within the first hour of its launch. And I feel like everyone in the world should have seen this coming, but somehow still they were able to make tens of thousands of dollars rugging idiots.
My Hawk meme coin is live!
And so, as you can see in the community note, 90% of the token supply has been sniped and being sold on the community. Buying this highly speculative Hawk coin could result in loss. Just giving people a fair warning, which wasn't heeded. So what ended up happening is what everyone knew would happen. It got rugged. Instantly, pretty much, within the first 2 hours. So then Haley Welch's PR team made this post talking about the Hawkonomics, saying the team hasn't sold one token. Baloney. I'll call horseradish on that. We tried to stop snipers as best we could. Also, huge dirty barnacles on that claim, too. And then, once again, a community note. The team and insiders have actually been selling their tokens since launch. Majority have never purchased anything and have only sold the token they were given. Haley is lying and will likely have to talk to a judge about this. Community note, just dropping a fucking pun on it. Cold turkey like that. Might as well. But, yep. We live in a world where CoffeeZilla will now make a Hawk Tua video. That's why this tab's open here. I'm just waiting for him to drop the, the Hawk Tua video. I'm very excited for it. The idea behind goobers putting money into things like the Hawk Tua coin is they know it's going to rug, but they really think that they'll be the ones to capitalize off the rug. They'll pull out at the perfect time. Completely oblivious to the fact that insiders are the ones that actually make the money. Not the idiots that buy in thinking that somehow they're smarter than the scammer. Like, you're not in on the scam, you are just another one of the pawns on the board. You are just another little dime into the piggy bank. You'll never beat the rug. Imagine getting rugged by Hawk to a Girl in the year of our Lord 2024. Again, you absolutely fucking deserve it. This is a scam where the only victims are the ones that actually deserve it. This is a lesson that you needed to learn. and Haley Welch took you over her knee and disciplined you. And I know they're still not going to learn their lesson. They will once again just dump into the next fucking shitcoin from pump.fun. Why can't I find the graph again? Because it's like a beautiful rug graph. Like the most... Oh yeah, here. Someone even put it in as a Christmas tree. It's just like the quintessential Solana rug graph. I know, man. People are actually begging to just be scammed over and over and over and over and over again. I guarantee if Jack Doherty went live on Twitter right now saying that he's doing another meme coin, people would buy in and he'd make another 20 grand off him. Easy. You see that the Rizzler got disrespected by Hawk Tua Girl? I know you're making like a meme off of the absurdity of like the names and the shit, like just the full culture around it. But you know what's crazy? Is if Hawk Tua Girl did disrespect the Rizzler, it's the worst thing she could do for her career. She can blatantly scam these idiots on her Twitter. They're not going to care. They'll still tune in to talk Tua for whatever reason. Ironically, I guess. But if there was the story about how she disrespected the Rizzler, they'd all just leave her. A Rizzler level event would be the worst thing that could happen to her. But she can run these pump and dump scams till the fucking cows come home. It won't affect her. The Hawk Tua fall off is crazy. No, what's crazy is that there isn't a Hawk Tua fall off. She just had Mark Cuban on her podcast.
Yep.
It's disgusting. Actual industry plant that is thriving in the biggest possible way and now just full goatsy scamming her fans. Actually dropping trouser, shitting on him, and it's not gonna matter. CoffeeZilla is live with a Hawk Tua Girl in a Twitter space. Oh, he's already on the case? Let's go. I had his channel up earlier, waiting for when he'd hop in.
There's no rug pull, and it's not done by us. Yes, snipers sniped it up to an insane market cap.
No, it's
and
not
dumped
just
it.
snipers.
That was not us. That was
listen. You know that.
Listen. No. I'm telling you the truth.
And y'all made millions on fees from this little.
Coffee, listen to him. It wasn't them.
I'm sure that's not you getting those fees, right? Who's making the money on the fees? Who's making millions of dollars on fees from this rug pull?
That's not a scheme. That's the project. So we can keep this thing going for years. Right? That's how do you?
The Hawk Tua coin for years.
Who makes the money on
I
the
love
fees?
that.
Someone just made over $1 million on fees. Who made it?
First of all, the fees were there with Meteora pools, and that goes to the creator, right?
Which is who? Who does that who does that belong to?
That belongs
God.
to the project, right?
No. God owns it.
The project?
This is a...
Well, the project is over here.
Who?
Haley Welch, right? And
how much does Haley Welch own?
This is Haley Welch's project.
So she owns all of it.
CoffeeZilla.
Did she just make $1 million on fees on a rug?
Do you know how much it costs for lawyer fees to create a foundation in the Cayman Islands, to hire directors? You think this stuff pays for itself, right?
So y'all wanted to make the money on day one? I don't understand. I'm just asking.
We're here every single day.
Millions of dollars
day 1,
fees from the
day
rug.
2, day 3.
This guy's really bad at avoiding questions.
Run a project forever.
He's not even slipping out of it super effectively.
And time and people that are on this project. Over here has around 18 people working on this right now as we speak. This is not a small time type of nothing.
It is literally a nothing.
And not just do it for one.
It is actually a nothing. It's a Hawk Tua coin.
The money? You haven't answered the question. Who made the money? How much did Haley Welch make of that 1.8 million?
It's a foundation that is running.
Oh.
How much does she own of it?
It's a foundation. She owns 0 of the foundation.
So y'all made the money?
No, I don't own the foundation either. A foundation in the Cayman Islands.
Who profited? Over $1 million was just
I'm
made.
telling you, a foundation that pays people out. And by the way, CoffeeZilla, I'm not.
It's just is it a force of nature? Who owns it?
That are
it's so simple.
Most important stuff. Because we didn't pull a rug. I don't know what you're trying to say.
No rug pull.
Defamation.
Doc, do the math. Do the math.
It's like taking a shit and telling me there's no poop.
3%.
You're defaming our character.
Are you not going to let me talk? You just talk over me. You talk over me.
I'm hearing bullshit. So why?
No, you're not.
He just denied it. Hold on, I'll pull this up again real quick.
You guys released 3% to the Meteora pool, while you have 17% of the token allocation unlocked day one from your strategic allocation. Are you guys insane? What do you guys think exactly is going to happen when your insiders get sent their tokens? And by the way, who made the money from your 17% pre-sale while you're giving a tiny piece of the pie to the public? Like, what the hell? This is the worst tokenomics I've ever seen, and it is a scam.
It's not a scam.
It is literally a scam. Actually a
You
scam.
can say whatever you want about it. You can cry defamation. That's my opinion. It's a scam.
Well,
and I only do this for a living. I've only seen 1 million of these projects.
This one's different, Coffee.
You, CoffeeZilla. Let's track your wallet.
Turn it around.
Over here, why don't you tell CoffeeZilla what we're doing with this project?
Where did the fees go? Where did the money for the pre-sale tokens go? Why
I love the who pays you Coffee.
So people could dump on Haley Welch's fans? And how involved was she really? And how much?
What just happened? They muted him.
I just got muted.
That must have been a glitch.
Yeah, so I mean, like we as mentioned, like we raised a 17% strategic allocation that was done at a 16.69.
Oh my God.
Valuation. You know, we tried to kind of keep that kind of premise here was that we had the restriction, like we heard the request for us to do this in a public manner, and I think that we having consulted with like
you were saying fucking nothing right now, and you're saying it with a big lisp.
I guess like the legal.
He's about to just start talking about dedicated wham.
Daily, and kind of mitigate any kind of consideration.
This is nothing. Just answer the simple questions Coffee is posing. Who owns it? Who made the money?
Americans. That 200 people participate. A lot of people within the industry that were very supportive of the vision. Because I think that they
why even listen to this bullshit if he muted Coffee? Because he's got to unmute him at some point.
I think that
Coffee and Connor Eats Pants are in here spamming thumbs downs.
This could be like a little bit of a paradigm shift. I mean, like I said, nothing that we've seen thus far with
it's a hawk to a rug pull shitcoin, man.
In a sustainable manner.
He's yapping about nothing.
Of longevity of an extended time frame, and we're just trying to try something different, right? Like I said, we went back to first principles and kind of tried.
Did they answer any questions yet?
No. Way that we think
no.
Makes sense, but we kind of felt ultimately that was probably the best representation of who were her true fans.
These are actual just filler words of nothing. That, actual nothing.
Running this initiative that
he's speaking just
into the hands of the
that's
people
all.
that have been most supportive of her and like kind of really engaged with her.
Holy.
I just want everyone to be respectful.
Yeah.
But yeah, listen, this is
you guys hear
something
me?
that means a lot. Go ahead, FaZe Banks.
Appreciate it. I just heard this guy blab about pretty much nothing. Just repeat the same shit that he said the first time around. You said something about Web 2 in layman's terms that just basically means 90%, 97% of all the tokens owned were by related wallets, friends of friends of friends of friends. They were
no, that's not true. It's not true.
Yes, it is true.
You can see it. You can see it.
Brother. Yeah. You're talking about some fucking, what did you say, in the Cayman Islands?
It's how you legally launch these types of things. It's a foundation. But listen, this isn't a bundled scam. This is and prove that they were not sold by us. So the bubble map stuff was totally false. It's not what happened.
Oh, so this is all a lie.
Over here, maybe you can.
They're the trustworthy ones at the Hawkonomics.
To these different wallets, and clear up a lot of this, these allegations that are just false.
Yeah, I mean, like in terms of like.
Oh God, not this guy.
The different wallets and stuff like.
Whoever guided you in this, or whoever directed you to do this, or gave you the advice to do this, you should fire them immediately. And yeah.
Yeah, I just want to jump in here.
Yeah, I'm doing the best I can. Thank you, FaZe.
Was that a Looney Tunes sound clip? What was that?
Ugly launch, cool. There's day 2, there's day 3, there's day
Bulletproof
4.
response. Bulletproof. That's how you handle it.
Every single day memeing. The key is to actually onboarding her real, true fans. This might not be for
Sounded like
everybody.
Sandy Cheeks.
It's not a big deal to us. We ain't going anywhere. Haley's not going anywhere. And the Hawk Tua meme is definitely not going anywhere. Yes, they were from the deployer wallet, but they're put into wallets for her true fans to claim. They were not sold. None of
You have
those
to
tokens were
unlock
sold.
the true
I just
fan
want to make that
prestige
very,
level.
very, very clear. But listen, it's all love. I understand everybody around here is kind of used to the same thing. There's only one way to prove that this is not just like everything else, which is just not give up, right? And keep going and keep doing everything, you know, that you possibly can.
Inspirational.
Right?
Inspirational.
To keep it pushing. And the
He's
only
right.
way that it's a rug or the only way that it's a scam is if you give up on it. And that's the one thing that we can say is no one's given up on this.
Mm-hmm.
So over here, or if you want to ask Haley some questions, let's like, you know, like Haley is somebody who's an incredible person, and she's had a lot of fun memeing. She really enjoys X. I think we have to really stick with the facts.
What the fuck?
And we can show all the transactions, right? And we've had them analyzed now. We can show all the transactions. That's the thing, is like the blockchain doesn't lie. And we will publish those transactions.
You just said, you were literally just saying that it does. Sometimes when it makes you look bad.
Yes, it got 90.
Blockchain doesn't lie.
It was 3%.
Unless
97.
It's doing something bad for us.
That was held back.
No, I mean, I just wanted to be like, you know, obviously Haley's been through a journey, and like, you know, this launch has obviously gone the way it's gone. But yeah, I think that maybe it'd be helpful for the community to kind of hear, you know, Haley's story, because ultimately, you know,
they're trying so hard to push it onto Haley right now.
Like the coin and stuff like that.
Guys, we need to think about Haley's feelings.
You know,
we only told her that she was going to make a ton of money from this. She didn't know it was going to be a rug pull. Haley, take it from here. We're going to leave.
Like, everybody resonates with Hawk Tour as a meme. It's like one of the most viral memes of all time. And like, you know, like I think people have been making a lot of money off like derivative works, and you know, people have launched a bunch of fake tokens, which is maybe the launch didn't go the smoothest. But like, yeah,
that's one way of putting it. It didn't go the smoothest, huh?
Showing up every day, trying to run the project. I think Haley's here for the long term. You know, ultimately, like her career is, you know, like just kind of starting, and you know, like you know, she's accomplished a lot of amazing things in this short period of time. And you know, like obviously resonating.
Thanks, membership, Jack.
You know, really strongly with the global audience. And I think, yeah, I think it'd just be useful for color if you know, Haley was able to kind of share a little bit about that original story, because I think it helps kind of paint the picture here a little bit of how she's constantly tried to, like, you know, build community and like use I guess what she's built to kind of like engage the broader community and be very inclusive. And you know, like she's done a lot of cool stuff around like charity, and like, you know, I think she really cares about dogs and stuff like that, and I think it's really cool to see.
What are you
like,
saying? What are you saying, man?
To,
what
do
in the world?
I guess cool with what she's been able to get into.
I went over to Haley's house one time,
you know,
and she let me in. She let me in the door, invited me into her abode. Me.
Kind of like,
This woman is an angel.
Yeah, I don't know if Haley, that's something you're comfortable sharing with the community, or if you feel like it's a little bit too sensitive, or how you feel about that. But I definitely think that it's helpful for the community to have that color.
Yeah, guys, I'm just here to have fun. I don't really have a full head wrapped around this whole thing, but I'm figuring it out every day, and I'm here for the long term. My skin's getting thicker every day, and the hate's not going to stop me. I'm here every day trying to work on this and get better at it, but I'm not going anywhere.
Hey, thanks for summing that up. I'm glad I lost all my money. And now it's all good. Hey, you're having fun? All right, that's what it's all about.
Get tough, and this was a learning you can integrate in all these different things she's doing, including her podcast every Tuesday. I mean, she literally, you know, is talking about her meme token on a really big podcast, on a charting podcast, and onboarding and talking about, you know, these memes, all different types of memes, all different memes that everybody holds.
Now I'm just getting an advertisement right now. Can I skip the ad?
Bringing awareness to it. So it's like, it sucks that everyone like wants to, you know, see it fail.
It did fail. It immediately failed.
Of it.
Well, it didn't fail for you guys.
I think, like,
you guys made out.
In week 2, in week 3, found it. So I mean, that's my belief. That's why we're doing it. We're doing something, you know, super innovative in my opinion.
Innovative.
You know, with the meme token.
Dag nabbit, he's right. We've never seen something like this
Go
before.
ahead, man.
They won't unmute Coffee. They refuse to unmute him.
I completely agree.
I would urge you guys as well to share at least what you know now, because while people are here, you know, they really
Yeah, no, for sure. You know what I mean? Like I said, like I mean, it was. I haven't, you know, like I mean, the bubble maps. I don't know why it's showing like, you know, if it's showing like 12 holders or whatever it is, like, but like, you know, we distributed.
Hey, way to explain it. I don't know why it's lying.
How many,
I'll have to investigate why it's lying.
I mean, like I said.
Sad part is crypto bros probably think they're telling the truth. I can promise you, I think even the most delusional would look at this and listen to this and be like, oh my god. Oh my god, what have I done? I got fucked.
Investors, you know, like
if they're not gonna bring Coffee back, I'm just gonna leave. This is nothing. This is just actually nothing. This is this man talking in circles with a lisp.
Tried our best to curate.
Haley did it. You know, her team, little shady. I don't think they've done a good job of explaining this. But Haley, man, how can you even be mad at her at the end of the day, right? She said she's having fun. And that's all she said. And what else do you need at the end of the day, huh? You know what I mean? So yeah, you lost a lot of money. You got rugged. Fucking Hawk Tua, spit on that thing. Am I fucking right? You go again. You buy the dip. So that way her investors can make some more too. Holy. Again, if you bought into this expecting to make money on it, you're a fucking idiot in the first place, to be fair. Putting money into a Hawk Tua coin. Christ. Hawk Tua coin was 100% unlocked on launch. That always will rug if you have people buying in with zero unlock. This team pre-sold tokens for millions and then are crying that they didn't sell and blame it. Oh, nice. I don't think there's anyone in the world that actually believes the developers here. Like, I don't even think the most delusional of, like, crypto bro would find anything that they said compelling. So I feel like this is one of the very few cases where people are like, oh, that was just a complete scam from the get-go. Which I feel like people should have been able to know immediately with the Hawk Tua girl making a fucking crypto. This is some Jack Doherty shit. It is. It is actual Jack Doherty shit. Except hers is somehow even more egregious. Oh yeah, I'm surprised they were even doing that call in the first place. Usually when it comes to a big rug like this, the people just vanish. Meanwhile, those two goofballs were somehow taking it in a Twitter space, pretending that it wasn't a scam. So, I mean, they talked about innovation. That is an innovative new strategy to rug pulling. Usually they just disappear. I wonder if she even knows what crypto is. I can say with at least 85% confidence, Haley Welch just learned what Solana was a week ago. After this space, when CoffeeZilla eventually got kicked from the Twitter space, he started his own to explain to everyone exactly how this rug pull worked. He explains it far better than I ever could, and it's actually a lot more intricate than I thought it was for a rug pull. There were more moving parts to it, and even more nefarious, scummy dog shit that was happening behind the scenes that CoffeeZilla highlights. So it's more than just like the simple pump.fun rug pulls we've been seeing a lot, like with Jack Doherty. This was a full red alert, DEFCON, premeditated, malicious rug pull that aimed to scam the shit out of people. Now, I do believe most of the victims here were basically just people that gamble on things like this, like meme and shit coins. I don't think a lot of like Hawk Tua enthusiasts, you know, all of a sudden set up a wallet to participate in the Hawk Tua coin. I imagine it's most people that were gambling on it. But even still, her scamming this many people and making this much money, her and the team, I guess I can't say her for sure because maybe she personally didn't make a ton of money, but a lot of people behind the scenes did, and CoffeeZilla explains how much and where things were going and how it all worked.
Let me start with something really basic that most people need to understand about what they're doing, the little switch they're doing. They keep telling you guys, and everybody's falling for it, with this strategic advisor grift, okay? They put 3% into the public DEX. Meanwhile, they pre-sold in these SAFs at like, I think they said a over $10 million valuation. I'll have to have somebody correct me on that. But over a $10 million valuation. So they pre-sold these tokens. Why do you think people bought these tokens? They knew that they could rug because they told people, well, there's no unlock. So if there's no unlock for pre-sold tokens and you think it's going to launch because you got this girl who's going to use her brand and use her popularity to all of a sudden pump up this coin, there's no unlock, you're going to dump into this. So two things happen at the same time. There's a lot of confusion about it, but two things happen. One, you have a sniper who jumped in at the very beginning, minutes after launch, because they tweeted out the contract address like idiots, like amateurs. Actually, the dot guy said they knew it was going to get sniped, which is crazy. I think that would be criminal if it's true. If you know your thing's going to get sniped and you launch it anyways, but whatever. So they get sniped. That guy walks out with millions of dollars. But then they put fees on top of that. They put a 15% fee on the DEX. So guess who's raking in the money?
Not Haley.
I tried to ask.
Can't be Haley.
He said our foundation made it in the Cayman Islands. We wanted to obey the law, so we left the United States. We went to the Cayman Islands. Everyone knows that's how you obey the law. You go to the Cayman Islands. So they went to the Cayman Islands, and their 15% fee supposedly goes there.
That's true. We did hear them say that.
So they made millions of dollars right off the jump, even before they didn't even quote. They knew it was going to snipe. This sniper made millions. They made millions, and then they pre-sold for millions. Okay, everyone follow me so far? Then you have strategic advisors who are dumping on retail, and they're making millions. Who's making nothing? Well, it's everyone else.
This is just actually unhinged. This is crazy. I don't know what I'm going to call this video yet. I have no idea what to title this. It is just so bizarre. So to give you the cliff notes, today I was researching about a huge crypto rug pull that Stream Chat made me aware of last night. And I know crypto rug pulls are the most common thing on the planet, more common than a sneeze. Did the sun rise somewhere in the world? If the answer to that question is yes, then that means fucking 50,000 people lost tons and tons of money in a crypto scam, probably on pump.fun. That's the main hub for it, the main cesspool. And last night, Stream was telling me that there was a disabled man who was doing a crypto coin on pump.fun called 120 hours because he claimed he had 120 hours to live. And when it reached about a $500,000 market cap, he rugged it and went offline and hasn't been seen since. Now, it doesn't seem like he was faking the disability based on all the available evidence that does seem to be true, but there's no way of knowing if he really had 120 hours left to live and this was his final oorah of just stealing a ton of money from a ton of people, or if that was all just fucking phony baloney like half of the other scams on pump.fun. Regardless, the fact is tons of people got rugged, left with their dick in their hand there. And while I was researching for this topic, I stumbled across another huge story in the crypto space, also on pump.fun, but this one bucks the trend of a rug pull, and it is something far more sinister that I have not seen before that implicates Steam. So, if you've been around the channel for a while, you might recall I made a video years ago about a really odd Steam game that I downloaded while dumpster diving, because it's something I like to do on Steam, just looking through like absolute dog shit that no one's ever heard of. And I found a game that I downloaded, and it didn't have the executable file. Like, it didn't even have the game. It had like ancillary files around it, and it was really suspicious. So I thought there was a chance that I had downloaded something very harmful, but I was assured that that's not possible through Steam. And Steam has also kind of positioned themselves as like a safe place to get your games. I've never really heard of a story of someone downloading something that like literally ruined their lives or like stole from them. There's been like some suspicious games on there that have done like some weird things in the background, but never like stealing from users as far as I know. Until today. There is a pump.fun streamer, his handle is Rostaland, who is battling stage 4 cancer, and he streams on pump.fun to raise money for his treatment. Now, I know what a lot of people are thinking, already raising an eyebrow, that this must be the scam. He must be faking cancer to try and scam people. Based on everything I can find, that is not the case. It seems he really does have cancer, and this is his way of generating funds to try and survive. It seems very legitimate. And while streaming, he was doing some gaming. And a chatter, apparently, had convinced him to download a game called Block Blasters. And when he did, he had all of his crypto stolen from him. Approximately like $30,000 was drained from him. And now people have been looking at the game and finding a weird set of files in there that seems to scan the user's device to look for crypto credentials, which is how they must have stolen this money from him. It's very peculiar, and at first I was kind of wary of it. I thought this could just be an elaborate scheme where, like, he pretended that it was the game he downloaded that drained his money, but really it was all just a ruse so he could make off with the cash. That does not seem to be the case. It seems like the game actually is stealing from people. He is not the first victim. Now, here's when it happened on stream. It happened live.
No, 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 no. No. No.
That happened in the crypto. For you, I understand this can be very difficult because that money normally can help you for a lot of things in your life. But it's not the end, okay? You're such a brave person.
I'm broken. No,
No.
I'm sorry, guys.
That is brutal. Now, there is no one more harsh of a critic on Pump.Fun than me. I shoot spitballs at that platform all night and day because it is 99.9% scams. I would have said 100% scams if not for this story. I really think that this is real. He's provided, like, receipts. He has proven that he is not faking the cancer diagnosis or anything like that. And when it comes to, like, the money being stolen here, it seems like it really did get stolen by this game. I don't think he has any involvement with the game. And someone I trust more than anybody else in the crypto space when it comes to scams, ZachXBT, has made a post about this, seemingly confirming that the Steam game is the culprit that stole this money from him as well as others. So ZachXBT kind of coming in here really solidified this to me as, like, a legitimate, like, the real deal. That's fucking terrifying. I truly didn't think Steam games could have this kind of vulnerability. I've made jokes in the past about, like, a terrible game being a crypto miner, and apparently there are actually some games that do kind of do that to a certain extent, but I've never seen something to this level. This is a huge security, like, flaw, a huge danger on the platform. As someone who buys games that have, like, 0 reviews and 0 players, sometimes I am literally the first one to play a game that no one's ever heard of, planting my flag on the moon. This makes me really afraid of, like, what these games could have in there as, like, you know, running in the background that I don't know about. It makes me afraid of my own Steam library and hesitant to, like, go dumpster diving through Steam new releases again, just out of the fear that it could have some dangerous files attached in there somewhere. Now, I do really want to mention this here before diving back into the Steam component. The community banded together to try and make Rostaland whole again, so someone named Alex Becker sent him $32,500 to cover what was stolen from him, and it's extremely wholesome. Everyone banded together to try and show support and try and help him out after something so devastating happened to him. And here's a post Rostaland made thanking him for it. That's super great. I'm really happy he was able to get the equivalent amount back. The scammers made off with the $32,000, and I imagine block blasters will be delisted. Nothing will happen to them, I'm sure. Very rarely do crypto crimes get punished, it seems. But I'm very happy that Rostaland was able to get that money back, that amount of money back. I am still just kind of stunned that this kind of thing can happen with a Steam game. And I know some of the games through Steam are vulnerable. Like, I remember Dark Souls had an exploit where hackers could literally remote access your computer through the multiplayer. Like, I know that kind of stuff exists. Same thing happened with Call of Duty even somewhat recently. Like, I know those vulnerabilities can exist, but this is the first I've heard of just downloading a game leading to just having your credentials stolen because of something that runs in the background on that in that folder. I feel like this has to be something new that wasn't possible years ago, because if this has always been something that developers could do on Steam, I'm very surprised that it wouldn't have happened sooner, especially with, like, the crypto booms a few years ago with, like, NFTs and all that shit. I'm really surprised that this is the first time I've heard of it happening. Like, I feel like it's got to be some kind of new vulnerability that they're exploiting. But I have no idea. It's just pretty concerning. I wanted to put it on your radar. Crazy shit across the board. I am very happy, though, that he did get that money back. Because, like I said, it does seem like that is real. It does seem like he's not making any of that up. So, yeah, pretty wild stuff. Anyway, that's about it. See ya.